back to Superstarglam. In today's video, I wanted to share with you a haul update. I'm going to be completely honest, that was I believe that was my birthday haul, and there was a lot of products, especially a lot of eyeshadow, so I haven't gone through all the eyeshadows, and I don't want this video to be super long, so I'm going to just rush through them, give you my opinion on the products that I have tried and that have worked for me, and whether I recommend it or not. Yeah, so let's just jump right on to this video. I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I hauled that it's almost been impossible for me to try them all out. So that's why I just wanted to share with you the products that I have used and have worked out for me. For example, the Maybelline Soda Pop eyeshadow palette. I have worn this, and I actually think that for drugstore there was decent pigment payoff with this palette, and I will link the video up here also on my look that I created using this palette. Now this one, it's the Afrique, I don't know how to pronounce it, Afrique by Juvia's Place. Although I have not worn this or used this palette on camera, I have used it off camera, and I'll insert a look that I did creating this. I was just playing with makeup, and I wanted to play with the two shades that I was drawn to here, which is Aya, that like bright yellow, and the Cote de, I really don't know how to pronounce that name. It is that blue shade. So I did create a look using both of those, and I will insert that picture for you to see. The next palettes that I'm going to show you, I've either done a review or I've created a look using one of these palettes. So, I mean, I've created looks using all of them, but some of them have been reviews, some of them have just been like featured palettes. For example, the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault palette in Armed and Gorgeous. It is this one. So I have a video up on my channel using this palette. It was my first fall makeup or fall inspired makeup tutorial, and it was using this palette. To be honest, I know this was or is a controversial palette. I mean, not just this palette, but like the whole Vault collection. And to be honest, I didn't have any difficulties using it. I didn't have any problems using this palette. They blended fine. They were pigmented, and the actual like shimmer or metallic shades were really pigmented as well. I would definitely recommend, from my experience, and the only one that I tried was this one, the Armed and Gorgeous. I would definitely recommend that you pick it up because, again, I did not have any issues with it, unless of course the information is correct that there is inconsistency in the palettes that were released. So you want to gamble on it. I mean, it's only $15, so it's not like you would be spending a lot of money on a palette. And if you purchase it at Ulta, you should not have any problems returning it if you did not like it. The other palette that I just recently did a look with is Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I created a look with it, and I think it's my most recent video that I posted. It's using a lot of like the warm shades. It was a simple look, but I'll link it up here if you're interested in that look. But I did dip in, and again, I was late to the game with this palette. I think this is a really good overall palette. It has an array of shades, from warm to deep to greens to purples. I think it's an awesome palette. I think the quality is there as well, very pigmented. So I was really happy with this palette as well. So these are the palettes that I had picked up: the Makeup Revolution, Emily Edit, the Wants and the Needs palette. I also have a video with my review if you're interested to watch that. I'll link it up here. And I think that the only palette that I can honestly say that I wasn't fallen over heels for was the Needs palette. But for me personally, what my needs and the fact that I'm a makeup lover, I had really no need for this palette. Again, if you want to know further details about my opinion on this palette, check out my review on that. Now for the wand, I would definitely recommend this palette. I think it is a very decent palette. I think you get a lot for, I think, what is it, $20 for this palette. There's a lot of thought put into the colors, the array of colors. There's a big mirror as well that's included. So far, what I used, I loved. And again, if you want to know more in depth my full review on this palette, then check out that video. This is another palette that I have a review up on my channel. I will also include it up here. It's from J.CAT, Take Me Away Fantasy Dreamland 21 eyeshadow palette. Now this one came in a little set with the liquid eyeliner, a eyeshadow base, and a mascara. Yes, and the palette, obviously. I loved the primer. I'm still currently using it. It's become one of my favorites. I hope it's sold individually because I would totally repurchase that. The liquid eyeliner, I also enjoyed that too because it is really black and intense. And I haven't had any problems with it cracking or anything. So I love that liquid eyeliner. And then for this palette, again, you know, if you want to know full review, you can check out that video. But for my overall opinion on this palette, I was not impressed or cared for the matte shadows. I had a little bit of a difficulty, but then you consider the shimmer or metallic shades that are in here, and they are beautiful. They're like a creamy consistency, so they're not like powdery. And so in my video I did mention that I would totally recommend this palette just for the metallic shimmer shades. So let's talk about this little baby here. The packaging is beautiful. It is the Becca Be a Light face palette. It's light to medium, and this is what it looks like inside. I don't like it. Just being honest here, I don't like it. I don't think that it's a universal powder friendly, if that makes sense. I think that it pulls too pink on me, which I don't like, especially the all over face powder. And it's disappointing because I really love the quality of Becca powders. I think it's one of my favorites. Like the blush and the highlighters are definitely like one of the tops from my collection. So I'm truly disappointed that these powders did not work for me. I do try to use the ones that I kind of did like, which was the under eye, the blush, and then this, which would be the contour shade, but it looks more like a bronzer on me. I'll continue to use it, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you have more like warm undertones. Just as a whole entire palette, it just didn't work for me. At this point, I guess you would say that I'm a procrastinator because I never went to exchange or return my bronzer from Ulta, or from Wet n Wild, that I ordered from Ulta that came totally shattered. Like, I still have it in the packaging shattered. I don't know, I guess for me I hate doing returns, and I guess I could go into why, because it takes me back to when I used to work at Bloomingdale's, and you know, the perspective that salespeople have on customers that do returns. Even though like I said, I hate doing returns and I rarely ever do returns or exchanges or whatever. It's just the idea that what is the salesperson gonna think? I don't know. I feel bad. I don't know, I guess. So anyway, so I've been trying to think about like just trying to save it, try to put together and save this bronzer. But I do have the Wet n Wild bronzer brush, right? Yes. It is one of their like limited edition brushes. I love this brush. I love this brush. It's what I've been using to bronze up my face. I think it's the perfect size for me personally. I think that you can also use this like to contour because of the tapered bristles that it has. You could definitely use it to contour, but I think that I love it best for the bronzer. So I've been using it nonstop. Totally recommend it. Get it before it's gone or they don't sell it anymore. So I got this, came in a set. It was like the MAC Prep and Prime Artistry Eyes, and I picked it up from Ulta. It came with the MAC 217 brush, the 24-hour extend eye base, and a eyeshadow in the shade Wedge. I've actually been loving this eyeshadow. I don't have many single eyeshadows from MAC, but I've been loving this as like to throw on the crease, like for a simple look, or just to blend out any other shade. I think it's like the perfect tone. So I've been loving that. I have tried this and I think it works. It's again not my favorite. I tend to still prefer the paint pot just because of the color. It neutralizes my eye. This is like a straight out just eyeshadow base. It kind of reminds me of the Lorac one. So it just comes, it glides on and it like almost disappears on your eyelid, so it doesn't alter or camouflage anything on your eyes. It's just strictly an eye base. So I like to do both. I like to cover and neutralize my eye, and as well as making my eyeshadow last longer. So if that makes any sense. I mean, I will still continue to use it, but like I said, I prefer my Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Okay, this is, I guess, another reason why I'm saying I'm such a procrastinator. I mentioned that I purchased the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and that, again, the shade wasn't right. The undertone wasn't right, and that it oxidizes. So I was going to exchange it for a different shade, and so far I still have it here. And again, it's the same thing. Like, it's been so long that I don't want them thinking that I finally tried it to where now I just want to go and exchange it. Like, I don't know. Let me know if like you've gotten any problem like at Sephora or even Ulta for doing any returns or exchanges. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section. Or how long is too long that they will no longer accept it, because I really don't know. I picked up the Essence Eye Blender brush. I love it. It's fluffy, works. I actually have most of the Essence brushes and I love them. This is actually a second purchase. I have I now have two of these of the eye blenders, so I love to keep them around. It's just for fluffy blending out the eye. I think that they're fluffy enough that you could probably use them for blending out your concealer. They're really, really good. I also have a pencil brush and an eyeliner brush, and for the eyeliner brush, I really love it. If you're looking for a really good, fine, thin, angled brush to do like liquid eyeliner, I would totally recommend that you get the Essence eyeliner, because I have like 3 of those for that purpose, that when I'm using like gel eyeliner, so you can really go in and like wing it out perfect for, and also super thin to go in like the inner corner, especially if you have like not much eyelid space like I do. It's really, really nice to go in there precisely. And the best part about these brushes is they're only $1.99. So stock up with these brushes. Okay, lip products. I love the quality of the Makeup Revolution. I think they're called matte. Yeah, I think they were the matte lipsticks. And I got them one is Inspiration, Wishful, and Exposed. And I'm actually wearing Wishful on today. They're really comfortable. They're not too, they actually dry down. I mean, they're not smudge proof or anything, but they're very comfortable, mattifying. I don't like glossy lipstick, so I definitely recommend these. And I think these are another like really affordable lipsticks. I mean, they're cheaper than even the L'Oreal or Maybelline. I would totally recommend these. They're actually called the Iconic Matte Nude Lipsticks. This one I picked up because of the packaging. It's the ColourPop Cream Luxe Lipstick. And this was in the shade Appy. And I actually love this shade. I've been wearing it a lot also. It is very comfortable. It's a little more glossier than the one I'm currently wearing, but it's still really comfortable. It's a lipstick. I just love the packaging, but I would totally recommend it. I think they are $7 if I'm not mistaken. So I had picked up the e.l.f. Beauty Shield SPF Skin Shielding Primer. It's a mouthful. And because it does have the high SPF, I would definitely be careful when you're wearing this, especially if you're going to take like flash photography. I would not recommend it because it will give you flashback. But I think as an everyday primer for an extra protection, I totally recommend this. It actually works really nice. It has like a universal tint. It kind of reminds me of the two primers. One is the Cover FX one. It's the Cover FX blurring primer. It kind of reminds me of that and the same consistency and color. It does provide like kind of like a blurring effect, and it also reminds me of like the I think it's also comparable to say the Benefit Professional primer. So it's kind of that consistency, kind of like silicone-y, but it also has like blurring effect. But again, then it takes it one step further and gives you the sun protection. I totally recommend it. It's e.l.f. product. I think it's like 12 bucks, especially if you also like to go outdoors, like maybe the beach, the park, whatever. I would totally recommend that you use this. I think the fact that it has more of that blurring effect kind of makes you look a little more mattified. You could totally skip wearing foundation and just going with the primer. Okay, so I also had picked up the Natasha Denona Blush and Glow palette. I totally love this. I think I've talked about it in a video before, how I totally like fell in love with this little duo, like the blush. The blush looks like it's, I don't know, on camera it was always looking a little more muted, but it's very bright. But when you apply it lightly to your cheeks, I'm not wearing it today, so I don't know why I'm doing that, but when I have worn it in the past, you apply it, it gives you like the right amount of color plus sheen. So it gives you like that lit within effect. And this highlighter, I didn't think I was gonna like. It actually is a really, really nice powder. It's not powdery. I mean, it is powdery. I don't know how I can explain it. It just gives you the right amount of sheen without looking too like disc ballish. I guess for me to even describe it, I would have to say this highlighter would be like in between the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial highlighter, if you've ever experienced that, and the other one that I have here, the Ofra Beverly Hills. If you tried this and you know how intense this highlighter is, this is in between that. So it's kind of, it's a step below getting like high intensity highlight. If that's making any sense, I hope it is. But it's a beautiful shade. For every day, definitely love this, but I would totally consider purchasing the full size, even though I know it's pretty expensive. But to try it out, this is a really neat way. I would totally tell you to go pick this up right now. I think it's like $25 for this little duo. Try it out and then tell me about it later. And the other highlighter that I mentioned that I hauled was the Ofra Beverly Hills highlighter. This is intense, but I love it. I think this is one of my favorite because you can totally customize this. Like you can make it more pink, more bronzy, more champagne, more white base, whatever it is, you can totally customize this shade. But I like to mix it all together and get that blend. It is so beautiful. Another lip product was the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick. This is in the shade Nudist Peach. I love this color, and I mentioned in my video that I had purchased it because I thought it was like a close comparable shade to the limited edition one from the collab between I Love Sarai and Dose of Color. Like, the shade is very similar, very close, but of course this was only $4 or $5. The only thing that I have to say is that this does go on very streaky, very patchy. So you do have to layer on this color. I found that you kind of have to wait for it to dry in between application to get the opacity that you are expecting from the shade. But again, it's only $5, so if you are interested in like in a peachy long lasting liquid lipstick, this is like the perfect, especially if you're like my skin tone and you want like that perfect nude shade that's more like pinky peach. I would totally recommend this because it looks so beautiful. Okay, two items that I would totally recommend and I would totally repurchase is the two setting sprays. This one's called Setting Spray. It's the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. I have really been enjoying this makeup spray. The only reason why I've only used up a little bit is because I do have other setting sprays that I've been trying to use up before I start with this one. But I have tried it out. I really do like it. I enjoy it. But the nozzle is decent. This one is the Catrice Prime and Fine Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. I actually like this one, like not as a setting spray, more of like after I've done the powdering and I want it to kind of set, I use this, but not as my setting spray, if that makes any sense. But the nozzle sucks, but I do like the spray. So, and again, this is like Catrice, so it's a very inexpensive spray that I would totally repurchase. Even if I guess I would want to maybe switch the container, but the product itself is very good. Okay, and then the last items that I have are more of like the skincare, and I don't really talk a lot about skincare here on my channel. I don't know, I guess because for me, I like to talk about things that I think I know a little bit more about than skincare. Skincare has been, I think it's a personal thing. I think that if it works for me, may not work for you. If it works for you, may not work for me. You got to consider a lot of things. You got to consider the type of skin you have. It's just a lot of things that you have to consider. So I'm just going to share with you quickly the ones that I did haul and then just give you a quick information about my personal experience with them. So the first one was the number 7 Radiant Results Nourishing Cleansing Balm, and I really do love this. My skin is combo, so I am oily on my T-zone and then I get drier in the outer portions, and then some of like then the corner of my mouth and my nose here, all those parts tend to get very dry. So for me, this has worked really good. I had tried the Clinique cleansing balm, and honestly, I don't find a difference between them. Like, I think they're really similar, and even the packaging looks very similar to the Clinique one. Now the Clinique is like, I think $28, and this one is actually, I think, like $8. And if I'm not mistaken, you probably get the same amount. I love this. I think it works awesome. It's an additional step for me to make sure that I'm getting all my makeup off. This does majority of the breaking down of all the makeup. So I've really been enjoying it. Again, it's only $8, so it is a really good cleansing balm. Okay, and then the other two items that I had hauled were my Neutrogena Ageless Intensives Deep Wrinkle Anti-Wrinkle Serum and the Night Moisturizer. I will not be repurchasing these items, and the only people that I would recommend this for is for anybody who is barely getting into skincare, that have not experienced, for example, retinol products, but you are in the market for like anti-wrinkle products. That's what I think this is targeted for. For example, I've been using retinol products for actually for quite a few years. I always have retinol products or ingredients in my skincare. So the tolerance that my skin has is very high, meaning these are so mild that I felt like it's not doing anything. I did read a lot of reviews, so that's what I based my buying decision on, the reviews that I read. These are from Ulta, by the way. And a lot of people were talking about that they felt like a tingling sensation using like the serum. I don't doubt that it does do that, but again, I think if you are barely dipping your toes into skincare, this would work for you and you would probably see results. But because my tolerance is higher, I don't think that I'm going to see any results, especially because when I started off with skincare, I started off with the Neutrogena line, and I raved about that for a really long time. This was years before even YouTube. But again, it's not for me. I think you should try it out. It is a little more on the pricier side in terms of skincare from the drugstore. That's my opinion on that. And those were the last items that I hauled and that I've tried. If you haven't entered in on my giveaway that I have going on currently, then go and check out that video. It is my holiday gift sets for 2018. Go and enter because it will be ending on November 2nd, and I will announce the winner after that in that same video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Let me know any videos that you would like to see, or any of the products that I mentioned today that you want to see a review tutorial on. Let me know. I want to know and hear all of that down in the comment section. And that's pretty much it for this whole update video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.